you guys like the feedback on why I asked her to come. And so thankful she said yes, she would come. I randomly texted you on like a Thursday morning, and I was like, I didn't know she would have this idea. John and I, so like how you guys come here to get in shape and have that accountability. John and I also, we have different people in our life that we have helped hold us accountable. So, they help us with like business and like when we set certain goals, like, okay, well, this month we want to help, 400 people get in shape. Like, so, they help hold us accountable. So we're not just like on our own, whatever, So we were at this meeting with some of our coaches and some other people in our community, in our group, and one of the people in our groups was sharing this story about something that he was doing in his business, and it was working really well for him. And it just seemed to like click for me and John. We're like, oh wow, we see like someone else is doing that. Like we can totally do it. Because sometimes when we hear it from them, it's like you hear it from me, you're like, oh yeah, she does it. She has to stay in shape because it's like her job. I have kids and I have this and I have that, and I hear it almost like probably 3 or 4 times a day from people that are like, well, I can't because I have this. Well, that's really hard for me because I have to take my kids to school and I have to cook for my husband and I have to run them here and run them there, and my husband's traveling and this and that, and I just hear it like just on a daily basis, and that's probably I'd say 80 to 85% of our clientele. You guys are just like busy, and that's why you're in and you're out, and this program works for you because you guys are busy people. And Heidi, since she came to us at the beginning of last year,
I was here
in the first day, she's been with us since the first day, literally since the first day we were here. Very, very first day we were even here.
Right there.
Yeah, right over here. Yeah, right there in that spot. She never once, like when we would tell her, hi Annette, when we would tell her, she would come to us and say, I need to get stronger. I want to be able to do squats. I want to be able to do a push-up on my feet. I want to be able to lose 5 pounds. There's a pair of pants I want to fit in. I want to do it. We would tell her how to get there, and she would be like, okay, done. Like she never once would say to us, I can't do that because of this. She went on vacation last week for like 14 days. She's like, I need to keep up this weight loss while I'm gone. Like, I don't want to regress. Like, that was very important to her. I'm like, okay, here's a workout you need to do, and here's some things you can do for when you're traveling. She texted me, like, while she's on vacation. She's like, oh, I'm on my way home. I've lost, like, 7 pounds. And she was in, like, Vegas and all these other places, and she, like, lost weight on vacation. And so, like, I just thought it would be really valuable if she could share from her perspective of being, like, a customer, a client, someone who's busy. She's got a son. She works at a job. She has 2 other jobs. She's like one of the busiest people I know, and she's consistently makes it in. She's always sharing all these great recipes. And so she totally agreed to come and speak for you guys. So I just want to like thank her for coming. She's super awesome. She's like totally like one of the women that was in here earlier. She was like, yeah, my son, or she was at your party for your son, and she was like, oh, and everything was healthy. I'm like, these are 9-year-old kids. There was nothing not healthy there. Yeah. And it just goes to show, like, it's just a part of her life now. Like, she doesn't just pick and choose when she wants to be healthy. Like, she's healthy, all the time. Like, in everything in moderation, right? So she's made it a lifestyle. So I just wanted her to share how she's been able to do it. And hopefully you guys can take at least, one thing from this and just put it into action in your own life. And, whatever your personal goals are, I know whatever she's going to share here, will be valuable and it'll help you guys. So, hey, Heidi, you're going to sit and listen too.
I'm going to sit because I'll face if I stand. Yeah. It's much more comfortable for me. When I first started here, I bought the Groupon. I came in, and I bought it like a month before I could actually come here, and I remember this, I was really mad. They're not even open yet. So I waited it out, and my first 3 months that I was here, I showed up 3 or 4 times a week, but I wasn't losing a ton of weight, and I was okay with that. But at the same time, I'm like, there's got to be something better. They got to do something. So when they actually offered one of the programs in January, I jumped at the chance to do it, and I committed to it 100%. And it was 12 weeks, and it was no gluten, no dairy, no alcohol, and I was like, okay, this is going to be the hardest 12 weeks of my life. But I had a goal. It was before I turned 37. I joked with myself that I wanted to lose 37 pounds. So I committed to the menu, and I stuck with it every single day. And in that process, I learned how to cook really fun, good food that my kid would eat, which is, I think, for me as a parent, the hardest part of eating healthy and translating that into what your family will eat. My husband eats whatever I put in front of him, because if he doesn't, well, then he doesn't eat. But, balancing the kid, the husband, myself, and then working, like she says, I work full time and I'm working in an office where there is candy and cookies and cake and stuff everywhere all the time. So like the temptation's there, but I had to make a commitment to myself because I was really tired of just feeling uncomfortable in my body, because that's really what it came down to for me. And so I committed to this 12 weeks, and doing that, it completely changed my life. And actually, before I turned 37, I actually lost like 42, 43 pounds, something like that. So it was like I hit my goal and then beyond. So it was just something, but again, it was not easy. And I don't think anything we do here as far as weight loss or getting more fit or healthy is easy. But it's something that you have to make a decision, a conscious effort to actually do. And if you really want to do it, the results will be there. But it really just comes down to picking the things. So the things that were the hardest for me, because I live a very active social life, drinking was extremely difficult, just so you know. Like, my own is here. And so and the thing is that I'm also a party planner on top of things. I cook for 30, 40 people every 6 to 8 weeks. These people do not need to worry about eating vegetables and things. So I cook and I send pictures to Kara in the group every now and then. Look what everything I made. I can't eat this. Yeah. You know, that happens a lot. But it happened during that time. I'm like, I made chocolate cake and this, then. And, but it just came down to, I just could not do it myself, and I had lots of taste testers to do stuff like that. But I started getting creative, but I also cook for a lot of people, so I started taking and swapping out all of the bad for good. I guess it's not really bad, but I started with cheese was probably my number one. Like, I love cheese. I could eat it on everything, in everything all day long. The wheat and the bread wasn't so hard. So what I did was, and I made some for you guys so you can actually taste it and take it home with you or eat it here, whatever you want to do. It's actually, the Kara's posted it before, but it's a non-dairy cheese spread, and it's made with cashews and lemons and olive oil, and you blend it all up, and it becomes like a spread. So you can eat it with vegetables, you can eat it with, your crackers if you make them, if that's the route you want to go. And also when it's heated up and cooked with food, it is creamy and yummy. And my son says, when I mix it up with spaghetti squash, he goes, it tastes like Alfredo. Okay, so that's from a 9-year-old. So you have some testimonial there. Granted, I don't think it tastes like Alfredo, but the fact that he did it, but it has a very nice, creamy, mac and cheese, warm, comforting food feel when it is heated up when you cook it and things. So don't be scared of it. It's actually really easy to make. And so, but give it a try. So that could be like one of the things that you swap out. And pick one thing a week. Don't go all balls out crazy, because that, sometimes I feel is like a setup for failure. When the mountain is so big, you're like, I cannot climb it, but I can take 3 or 4 steps. So each week, if you're going to commit to something, pick something, one thing that you're not going to eat that week, and swap it out with a healthy thing. So that's kind of what I've been doing with my husband, because he has a goal this year. He wants to lose weight so he can get off some blood pressure medication. So every week he's been picking one thing to try to eliminate from his day, because he's like, I can't go cold turkey. He's like, I just can't do it. So his thing is, I make this, it sits in the refrigerator in a little tub, and he knows he can go, and sometimes he'll just go eat a scoop of it because it's just nuts. And because he gets tired of eating almonds. And so he'll just eat a scoop of it, or he'll throw it on toast, because when it warms up, it's all kind of warm and yummy. So that's what his thing is. The last 2 weeks, he's eliminating dairy, and this is the thing that he's putting in place of it. And he goes, next week, I'll try bread. So it's like, he's just going to keep building upon the foundation that I've already supplied for him. He's going to keep moving forward with it, but it's baby steps. Because everybody's different. Not everyone can just jump in and say, okay, I'm going to commit to this and do it. So that was one of the biggest, to be honest, one of the funnest items that I found to put in my kitchen, in my refrigerator. That is, it has a comfort food feel. And I don't feel like I'm losing out on flavor or taste or anything like that. And that's the other thing too, is I'm always saying, like, healthy food doesn't have to be boring. Okay, so some people are like, oh, I'm on a diet, and you're making salad switch it up. Do it all the time. So for prep days, which is usually my son's Saturday or Sunday, I'll prep and I'll make a salad base, and I change that up every single week. So I'm not eating just spinach all week, or I'm not eating just lettuce all week. So sometimes I'll shred cauliflower, cabbage, and kale. I'll mix it all up, and I have a giant tub of it. And so when I'm putting my lunch together, I'll just throw that in a bowl, grab my proteins, which are also already made, and put in little containers. These little things, these little containers, they have them a little bit bigger too, but you can get them at the Dollar Tree, and they come in a pack of 10 for $1. So if I lose them or if I break them or throw them out, I'm not crying because I just, didn't spend $10 on Tupperware. So I use a lot of the throwaway stuff because I have a tendency to lose it or forget it, or not clean it out after 3 days.
Guilty, that's me all the time.
And so then I'm like, crap,
And you smell it and you're
so
like,
throw it away. I know I'm losing a couple pennies here. So, but the Dollar Tree's a really great place to pick up the cheap containers. But Ziploc bags and plastic containers became my best friend when I started eating healthy, because I packaged everything up on a Sunday, and I would put everything out in serving sizes, and I'd change it up. So I'd cook a pound of turkey, a pound of chicken, and then a bunch of like tilapia or some other white fish, and I have it all served out. So in the morning, I can just be like, oh, I'm going to mix this and this and this and this today, and I just throw it in a bag and run out the door. Same with breakfast. My breakfasts are all made. I have little things of oatmeal. They're already all made, and I just have to grab and go. Or the egg white cups I make every week too, and I leave those in a container. And then the other thing is, I value my sleep so much, and I want as much as I possibly can. But I work in Newport Beach, and I live in Fullerton, so my commute is not that pleasant, and I have to leave by 6:45. And so getting up at like 5:30 is not an option. Coming to morning classes, that doesn't happen very often either. But I like to sleep to the last possible minute. So actually getting up and making a full lunch and making a full breakfast is really hard, because I'd rather take that 15 minutes and lay in my pillow. So having everything already made and prepped is probably one of the key to successes that you can actually do. And it's not hard. I've gotten my prep down to about 90 minutes. That's not including shopping, so about half hour, 45 minutes for shopping. But I can do all of it in 90 minutes, and that was a lot of trial and error. But I learned everything that has to go when roasting in the oven, throw that in first. So all my Brussels sprouts that I always do a container of that every week. Spaghetti squash I also do almost on a weekly basis. Throw those in the oven, and then you can do all your cooked off stuff. So then make your quinoa, make your oatmeal, make all the chop up your salad stuff while all your stuff is roasting, and then it all kind of ends up being done at the same time at the end. And then you just package it and put it in the refrigerator. So those are things that I do on a weekly basis, and then that helps me actually eat healthy all week, because I'm not going out to lunch, I'm not going out to dinner, because those I always felt sabotaged me. We used to go out to dinner all the time, and then as soon as I committed to the program that Karen and John gave me, it's like a treat now. My son's like, we're going to go out to dinner, it's like maybe once a month now. And then I've learned what you can and can't eat out. And what has also happened is once you get in this routine of eating a certain way, first of all, I don't actually want to eat that because I end up with horrible stomach pains. Actually, bread now, I can't do it. Cheese, I have a really hard time. It's little bits. It's just, I end up feeling horrible just because I'm so used to putting actually healthier things in my body. So those are all things that I did and commit to, and I still do now. And when there isn't food in the refrigerator for my husband to go ransack during the day, because he works from home, he's always like, "Where's the food? Why did you my celery?" But yeah, it actually helps, and it saves a lot of money too by actually eating it all the time. We go to Sprouts a lot, and it costs a little bit more, but I feel like the quality is better. I find the vegetables actually last a lot longer when I buy them from there, and my husband doesn't ever want to shop at another store because he just loves the people and the look at everything on it. So I actually got him to go grocery shopping with me now, and that
Tell me how that happened.
always happens.
He goes to the grocery store all the time. I'm just
I
joking.
shop for all of my
So the other thing too is with bread and pasta, I think is also a big item that everyone is like, I love and I want to eat it all the time. If you think about it, bread and pasta on its own is actually very bland and boring. It doesn't really have a flavor to it. It's what you put on it that is what you really enjoy if you think about it. It's the flavors of the sauce, the butter, all the yummy things that go in it to make it taste good. So swap out that item. Like, don't use macaroni, don't use spaghetti. Try another vehicle because that's all it is to actually to eat that. Because but you have to think about it. You're like, okay, yeah, really, you taste a noodle and it doesn't really have a flavor. It's just an item to actually deliver the good tasting stuff. So think about swapping out things. And like I said, just pick one a week to actually get through those items. And then I think you'll discover that it becomes a lot easier and you don't feel like you're giving up everything all at once. And it is all in moderation. I've actually gotten to the point where I can balance drinking and actually having a glass of wine and going out. Like when I was on vacation, it was like, okay, I'm gone for 2 weeks, I'm on the road, and we do road trips, and so traveling in the car, you end up snacking all the time, but I made sure that everything that we had in the car was all healthier. Beef jerky is a really good one. Jerky or the buffalo stuff, the buffalo jerky from Trader Joe's is actually really good too. And so we just did that all the time. Roasted green beans, plantains, those are all really fun, crunchy foods. I did make a ton of these that I actually brought here so you can taste them. Those are actually Ezekiel tortillas that I put in the oven. And I bake with coconut oil, and it's a chip. So I was able to have chips and salsa. So that was like, and that's like, and I made them salty one time. You can make them spicy because you can just put whatever you want on it before you bake it. And then it becomes that flavored chip. But I was able to eat. Yeah.
You were saying that you like to have a substitute for noodles or pasta or something like that. What would be an example that you do for that?
I actually brought something so you can see. I'm much more visual than I am talking. Okay, so this is my favorite kitchen tool. And I have one to give away, but it didn't arrive today because it got stuck in my Amazon thing. So whoever wins it, I'll bring it and you can pick it up here. This is a spiral slicer.
Yeah, this is awesome.
This is
It's a
awesome.
little, they are a little pricey. It's not
Yeah,
like the $5
it's called a spiral slicer.
Where do you buy them?
Yeah, write this down. What is it? Spiral?
That's the problem. Okay, so I thought maybe if I could find a local supplier, we could all run and get them. Silver Top has them, but that's not local and they're out. Amazon sells them. So if you're an Amazon Prime member, it's free shipping. You go on there, they run between $25 and $30.
It's just called a spiral slicer.
Spiral slicer. And so I figured someone could take the bag of zucchini and move on. So, let's see if it's good.
What, not holding that or something?
I got it.
Who's
So it's actually really easy. You get a nice little arm workout too. So it's super duper easy. Let's do the big ones. Okay. I swap them out all the time. My kid is like, "Can I have real pasta, please?" He had a conversation with Kara last week.
Yeah, he asked if on the Fit Body plan, if maybe just one day a month they
One
could
day
have.
a month.
He's like, can we just have one day a month where we can maybe have, gluten or carbs on the Fit Body plan? He's 9, right? Is he 9?
He's 9.
He's 9.
He's 9 going on 30.
He's 9 going on 30. I have a conversation like he's like my age. Very funny.
So last night, I said,
You eat the whole thing,
let's
that's how you
make
get
chili,
it.
right? So let's make chili. And he goes,
Yeah.
Can I just have you buy canned chili for once? And I'm like, I don't shop in canned aisles very much anymore. I find it's cheaper and easier just to make it yourself.
Better
Right,
for
with
you.
my fingers.
But look, see, it looks like pasta.
See? And then they're fun. Like if you get a little tail that you can snack on.
Yeah, like a string
Yeah, it does
cheese.
look like string cheese.
Like a string cheese.
So fun. They're really long. It is one giant continuous piece of zucchini.
That's awesome.
They take
That took what? 2 minutes to do.
And if you cook it,
yes. So you can do one or two things. I usually just grill it up with a little bit of oil. So you can put whatever you want on it. I slice up garlic, some tomatoes. It cooks in like 2 to 3 minutes. It's faster than cooking boiling water, and it's faster than actually cooking pasta.
I think we should have a cooking class with Heidi.
Me too.
I have a big stovetop we can bring in. I can
Yeah.
set it
Let's
up.
all
Do you really?
ship the sprouts together.
We'll go shopping.
Yeah.
Go to your house and learn if you want.
I do, and I discovered, I mean, I've always loved cooking, but you get really creative. Spices. Let's talk about that real quick. Things that you need to have in your cupboard. You can take any, I'm sorry, the ground turkey is just nothing. It's one of those items that I'm like, I have to eat turkey again. Ugh, you know, because you eat so much of it on this. So I spice it up. I put cayenne pepper in. I put paprika. Things that make it a little bit spicy, and then you throw some salsa on it, and it becomes a great little vehicle again to deliver flavor. But yeah, I go through a lot of salsa. Garlic is another really one. Tarragon is a really strong spice, and so it can kind of dazzle anything with just a teaspoon, especially on eggs. Those are a good one. Egg whites really take up the flavor of tarragon. You have to like it though. Basil's another one. I mean, these are all basics. Buy them in bulk at Sprouts. If you already have a little, glass container, and don't throw that out. I have discovered the bulk thing at Sprouts is awesome. It's so much cheaper. Especially since sometimes when you buy your spices, you're buying them in a big container and you're not going to go through it that fast. And so sometimes you can just go buy a little bit of it, and then you can even use your little 10-cent container to store it. But that was a really good one. The other one that you can buy in bulk there, which I do now, is arrowroot starch. Say that again. Arrowroot starch. It's a thickener, so you're not using flour anymore. If you want to make it's something like when I do like a broccoli stir fry with meat, and you want that kind of yummy thick sauce that Chinese restaurants have. If you use that, it's kind of like a cornstarch, but it's healthier for you. But it works in that same way as like a cornstarch, where you just thicken it up with a little bit of liquid, and it has that creamier, thicker feel. You can also toss your vegetables in it and then throw it in the oven, and they're crispy on the outside. So when it bakes, it kind of makes it crispy. So I do a crispy cauliflower, and both my kids love it. And it's because it tastes like it's fried, and it's not. It's all baked, but it has that battered flavor, or not battered flavor, but battered feel to it. So that's kind of a fun item. Now, these are all things that if you were like a Pinterest person or I just go online all the time. What can I do with this? How can I do this? And so that's where a lot of the ideas that I get all come from searching, discovering new things, and I'm never afraid to try something. Not everything in the kitchen comes out the way it looks in the picture, and I'm okay with that. I did tell my game changer group when I post pictures of my food. They're always like, "Your food looks so pretty on the plate," but I also take a little bit of extra time and plate it like a restaurant instead of throwing it on the plate, because then I feel like I'm appreciating my food a little bit more. It's a mental thing completely, but at the same time, I'm like, I have restaurant food.
Yeah.
And make it look like restaurant food. Kara knows. She's
Yes,
just
she does.
months and months.
I have this idea for her. It's called Heidi's Healthy Helpings. I want her to open up a restaurant. It's like you have a bunch of customers from Fit Body,
Body.
but she hasn't.
Like a food truck, and then you just go to all the
A healthy
Yeah.
See? Brilliant. I would invest in that.
I find that taking those extra moments, I'm not moving down the food. I'm actually like, no, I'm going to appreciate the food that I cooked today. I'm going to, sit and do it, and I take a little bit longer. Lunch, forget that. That's all. Just toss it. But dinner is a little bit more of a make it fun. Really, that's my basic. Like, if you enjoy being in the kitchen, or even if you don't, just make it fun and enjoyable, and have a good time with it. What else? I wrote down notes. things too is when we're really, really busy, especially when we're trying to open the show. Like this next week in my house is going to be insane. I have curtains and costumes, and there's glitter and sequins everywhere in my house, and feathers are everywhere. My husband's got his stuff from one end of the house to the other. So tomorrow I'm gonna prep, but one of the things I do is sometimes, you prep on Sunday, you're like, well, is it chicken still good on Friday? Probably not, or it's been eaten. So what I've been doing is using Ziploc bags, and so I'll make like a basil nut kind of cross thing for chicken, and I'll put that in a small bag, and then I put my chicken pieces, because I buy in bulk at Costco for chicken and turkey and stuff like that, and I'll put those in a bigger bag, and then we'll put them all together. So the whole meal is all in one Ziploc bag, and I throw that in the freezer. Or like I'll stuff chicken thighs and I'll wrap them up and put like a nut vegetable stuffing, and then I wrap those all up. I throw them in the freezer. So some mornings, if I'm like, oh, okay, we're not gonna just grab whatever's in the fridge, I'll pull something out of the freezer, and that way it's ready to be cooked. And so I don't like to spend more than 20 minutes at home at night cooking, especially since I usually come here, pick up my son, I get home about 6:15. He has to go to bed by 8. So it's a really, really small window of time with your family at night. And I know that sometimes it's a struggle for those with kids and family and even obligations that you have at night. So my dinners are usually done in under 30 minutes. And that's just because I took the time to prep ahead of time. And then by doing all the prep, it saves time obviously during the week when you don't have the time. And then I'm able to put on a healthy meal every single night. Vegetables take, like I said, this takes 3 minutes after you're done spiraling. It's 3 minutes in a nonstick pan. Some of the items that I bought that make my life easier for kitchen stuff, a nonstick grill pan, because that way I can grill inside. I don't always have to go out and make barbecue out of the thing. It's also nonstick, so I don't have to use as much oil or fats or anything to cook up my food. I have a Ninja. I can't afford vitamins, so I have a Ninja. Works really, really, really well. It chops up stuff. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut my fingers when I'm cleaning the thing. But it works really well, and it has, the one that I got has a blender, the little small blender cups, kind of like the Magic Bullet or anything, the Nutra, whatever.
Yeah, NutriBullet.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So I eliminated that, and this has little cups, and so it has little single serve. So I'm able to blend my protein drinks. One of my desserts that I like to have at night is used on that blender. I actually take protein powder, a scoop of some sort of nut butter, and then ice, and I make myself ice cream. It's really, really good. I also make protein pudding, where you use like a quarter cup of water with the protein powder, and you just mix it up. I throw it in the freezer for about 5-10 minutes, and it's thick and it tastes like chocolate pudding. So those are all things that
You have a
help me
sweet tooth.
get through that lovely time of the month where you crave your chocolate and you want sweets and you just want to like eat everything in your house. It helps me get through those times. So yeah, I'm like, ice cream, I need some. Yep, let's make it right now. So those are things that also, whenever I was like ready to hit a wall and needed chocolate, those were good items. What else? Flavor things. Salt can be a friend. I used to not think that way, except it adds so much more to food. So don't be afraid to use it. The pink Himalaya sea salt, also in bulk, at Sprouts is the best way to go. It's $2.99 a pound.
And it lasts forever, huh?
Salt is a lot.
Yeah.
You don't need that much. So it's the most inexpensive thing. I was gonna say, ground turkey is. I've done a lot of shopping comparisons. Cheapest at Costco, it comes in 4 1-pound containers for around $15. And then, but yeah, I think for ground turkey, it's like your best bet. So for $15, I have a month worth of turkey because I cook up 1 pound every week and leave it in the refrigerator, and it's usually gone by the end of the week. I don't have to throw out too much food that way. I don't know what else.
I wanted to ask you what one of your, like, that you could think off the top of your heads, like, what is one of your favorite or something that you feel like you cook most consistently on a Sunday that preps? Like, just like break it down. Like, so you said like the turkey. Like, what exactly do you put in the turkey? Or like, what's one thing that they could do like this Sunday? Like, they can go to the store, they can make it on Sunday that would be like good for them to have throughout the week. That you can just think off the top of your head. That's like simple. Like, if they were to prep one food this Sunday, what would you think, or what would you say is the most helpful for you?
Onions and peppers.
Okay.
With the ground turkey, I chop it up real small, and then I cook it in coconut oil to make the onions and the peppers real soft, and then throw the turkey in, and then I'll put in, if I want it spicy that week, I'll put in cayenne, or I'll put in, if I want more Italian flavor, I can do the basil route. It just depends on what I'm in the mood for that week. But that's what I do with the turkey. And then the quinoa is a really easy one too, because I like to throw that in salad. Sometimes, I don't know about you guys, but when you eat a salad consistently, it kind of, sometimes when you're done, you're like, I don't feel like I'm full. I'm not, but throwing like a quarter cup of quinoa in it helps make you feel a lot more full. That's at least for me.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a little thing, when you're eating a salad with just protein on it or whatever, that really helped. Made me feel like I had a full meal, especially in the early days. Now it doesn't take very much. I noticed, obviously I think my stomach probably shrank because I was eating a lot bigger meals when I first started, and now my meals are a lot smaller. And I totally lightweight, so it doesn't take much for anymore.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm just so used to eating, much smaller portions and much smaller stuff. But yeah, the turkey is probably, I do it every single week because it's the fastest too. I mean, it's like maybe 10 minutes to cook up a whole thing. I cooked up 2 pounds this morning because I used some for the spaghetti pie.
That's awesome.
That one's a fun one. It is some work, I'm not gonna lie, but it's a fun one, and it's one that everyone in the house likes, so it gets made a lot.
So, so when you're food prepping on Sundays, there's 3 things that you do, right? You do the
Brussels sprouts, because I like to eat those as a snack. I just love them. Spaghetti squash, because you can put anything on it. And if it's already made, you can either microwave it, which takes about 10 minutes, or if I'm prepping everything, I might as well throw it in the oven and let it roast for 30 minutes. And it's an easy one. It's not very expensive, but it creates a lot. Out of one squash, you can get 2 to 3 meals out of it.
Yeah, I do spaghetti squash every Sunday. I love spaghetti
Yeah,
squash.
it's just an item that fits in there. And there's times I come home from boot camp and I don't want to eat. You're hot, you're kind of shaky. I don't even want to eat because you just don't feel like it. So on those nights, I will take that, throw some spinach on it, maybe some sun-dried tomatoes, and just warm it up, and that's it. And then at least I know I'm getting some nutrients that I needed in my body without feeling super heavy or eating a large meal.
Do you make it in the oven or the microwave?
You can do it either way. It just depends on my time. It depends on what time. It comes out the same. Like, I haven't noticed a difference between us. It's just a matter of, am I home and I have an hour, it's usually about half an hour in the oven and 10 minutes in the microwave. So, and in the microwave, make sure you put water in your pan and just turn them upside down. And it's about 8 to 10 minutes. And if you take a fork and poke the top of it, if it's soft, then it's done.
The hardest part about the spaghetti squash is cutting that bad boy. That for me, that's the toughest part.
You gotta get it on top of that.
Yeah. You're like using that core strength. Yeah.
And I have really strong, I have really good knives. My husband sharpens them often.
Yeah.
I always have to have them worn here, else I'm gonna lose a finger.
Yeah.
And so, I can just crack it and just pull it. But yeah, you're using all the muscle that you're building up here. You get to go home and use it in the kitchen.
Cut a spaghetti squash.
Oh, spaghetti squash, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest thing is to cut this.
What are like the top, I'd say like the top 8 things like in your grocery cart, like all the time that you like when you go grocery store shopping, like what are the top 8 things that you're like always on your list no matter what, like you always buy every single time you go to the store?
I've been buying rotisserie chickens lately because I'm just.
Well, they're fast and they are.
They're fast. You chop one up, you get it home, you put it in a plastic container, and you're done.
Yeah.
So I've been buying that because sometimes if you look, $2 more to have it done.
Yeah.
So that's a quick little tip for those of you who are like, I just don't want to cook.
Yeah.
So I've been buying those ground turkey, chicken thighs, because those are like a nice portion size. They're already cooked. Egg whites is another one. Spaghetti squash, Brussels sprouts, and then zucchini. This gets served. This is the side dish at least once a week. Those are probably lemons and limes for flavor, because you can squeeze them on anything.
Yeah.
Put them in your water. One of the things I did too that helped me on a social level, going out to parties and things like that, because I can tell you, I mean, every weekend, it's, especially at the theater, everyone's drinking, everyone's having a good time, there's parties everywhere, I know a ton of people, so you can invite a lot of stuff. I would bring mineral water and limes, or lemons with me. I just walked into the house and had my own drinks. But it helped me get through, because it's bubbly, it's festive, it looks fun on glass,
Yeah.
and so I went through cases of it.
Yeah.
Cases of it.
Yeah.
I would just go to Trader Joe's and buy the two. I'd be like, I need two this week.
Yeah.
Just to get through. Because I mean, I don't drink soda, but there's just times where you want something that's not water.
Yeah.
And I drink almost a gallon a day now, and that was a hard thing to do too, is to get used to drinking that volume. And I noticed a big difference when I don't drink that much water. That was just Garrett going, you need more water. You need more water.
I know. Always. So what if, okay, so like, obviously like, you've totally like changed your lifestyle, and this isn't just like a diet for you, you live it every single day, and it's always on the forefront of your mind. Like what were like a few things that like really helped like hammer home to you like how important it was, and what are some of like the benefits, because I know like all of us here, even me, like we're always just trying to get better, and what's like helped you, and what are the benefits you've seen? Because I think sometimes people are like, really, is water going to make that much of a difference? It can make that much of a difference if I have a lean cuisine, but it really, it does, like that is a big thing.
When I don't eat whole food, real food, I guess you could call it, I notice a huge difference in my body and my energy, in just how I feel waking up the next day. I mean, if I have a roll of bread, I can feel it from my entire body. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I haven't felt bloated in a really long time, and that's a lot of it is just because of eating real food. But you wake up every day and you feel a lot better. And the thing is, what kept me going on this and not to just stop and go back to the way I was eating was, like I said, in the first 3 months that I was here, I wasn't dropping weight. And then once I started losing the weight, it just kept moving off, and like the scale just kept going down. And I remember the day I finally got under 200 pounds, it was like I cried, because it was like the most awesome thing ever. And because I hadn't seen that number in so long, that it kept me going. I mean, it was just small increments, and then just 1 pound or even a half a pound a week was huge. And I was like, this is awesome, and I just kept going. And then the fact that I could finally fit in the pants that I wore in high school, I was like, oh, hallelujah. And so those are all things that just kept me going. And then now, it's just a matter of, I just don't feel as good if I eat processed food.
Yeah.
Is what it comes down to. Well, one thing that's keeping me straight right now is I do have, full disclosure, I ended up getting gallstones about 2 months ago. And they just said, oh, it happens. And because I told them, I said, I didn't lose weight real fast. It was over a long period of time. And they're like, yeah, it just happens sometimes. And so I can't eat anything fatty, or so cheese is pretty much out of my life right now. Until I decide to take care of it. But I'm trying to deal with it naturally, and it's through diet. And the doctors are like, oh yeah, you're doing fine. You'll pass them. They'll break down. You'll be fine. So I don't have to have surgery for that. And it's all because he's like, well, because I gave him examples. This is what I eat. Here's the example. He goes, oh, you'll be fine. He goes, that will help you. So I'm like, all right, great. So that was, it keeps me going. And I actually got rid of all of my clothes. I went through my closet, and on a monthly basis, I would just start shoveling out everything that didn't fit me. And so I have an option now. There's no going back.
Yeah.
My closet's very lean right now, but there's no going back. And with my knee injury, I gained weight. I wasn't here for almost 2 months. So it wasn't huge amounts, but I've been trying to, now that I'm working out again, and start the scale going back down, and I'm kind of balancing it all out. But I did balance out those 2 months with healthier eating. And I knew once I stopped coming here on, I knew I was going to be like, all right, this is going to be a huge struggle for me to actually get through these few months of not working out. Because obviously, if you're here and working out, you kind of can have a little more fun with what you eat.
Yeah.
But I couldn't. So it was like one of those
And Ned's laughing.
But now, like I said, now it's not an option anymore. It's just part of my life. And it's not hard, but it was hard in the beginning. It was not an easy, all in. And it was, I gotta say, give kudos to Kara in that first Game Changer team, because we were there every day. We'd be texting each other going, I want a brownie. And they're like, no, don't do it,
And somehow they all wanted a brownie after they were all together for 3 weeks. It was they all wanted a brownie that same week. And I'm like, oh geez, they're all in sync, and I'm like, I can't handle all these women.
It was really weird because I was the only one in Brea, and all these women were working out together in Chino, and somehow our monthly schedules all sort of aligned by the end. So
I'm not even kidding.
We're like, why is this happening?
They would see me, and I would want to run because they'd be throwing daggers at me, is one piece of pie really gonna kill me? And I'm like,
my favorite was always the Sunday night text from Kara. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. And I'm like, wait, well, I didn't sign up for that. But yeah, it's a lifestyle change. And but like I said, one of the things, pick one thing. That would be my biggest takeaway is don't go all out crazy, and just pick one thing and make it small, because every little small thing is going to become big in the end. And I think that's how it was for me.
What about your egg?
Egg white cup.
What? Yeah, how do you make those? I know you posted it before, but.
No, that's fine. It's actually pretty simple. You can either do it with real eggs or egg whites. But I've been doing I split. I do a 6 and 6 in an egg. I love everything in a muffin tin. It's the perfect size for everything. So I spray my muffin tin down with coconut oil spray. Trader Joe's has that cool little spray. It's a lot better for you than pan, in case you're wondering. And then I will grill up onions, mushrooms, and throw in some chopped spinach in a pan, and then I fill the bottom of the cup, and then I just take my egg whites and pour it to the top and bake it for 15 minutes. So I have some mushrooms and spinach, whatever you want, any vegetable that you like. It can be anything. Everyone's preference on that kind of stuff is
Probably a little bit.
a little bit, deal it out in each cup, and then you just fill up the cup, or you just crack a whole egg. My son loves bacon, and so a lot of times with him, I'll do bacon cups, and so I'll wrap the bacon in the inside of the cup and put a whole egg, and he'll eat two of those for breakfast.
those are the perfect snack on the go. Perfect if you're taking the kids to school, you can just grab a couple. Sometimes I'll eat mine even cold or whatever if I don't have time.
I eat mine cold.
Yeah.
I don't even heat them up.
Yeah, and they're really good if you put salt, Tabasco on
If
top.
you go to
And
my car right now, there's this little thing that's supposed to hold your water cup, I think, in the door.
Oh.
It's filled with paper towels, because I grab a paper towel, I throw my breakfast in it, and I eat on my way to work
Yeah.
every day. And when I'm done, I'm like, oh, there's a pile of paper towels stuck in my door right now for
Yeah.
breakfast. Lots of crumbs.
What temperature? 15 minutes up.
Oh, 350. So you get for 15 minutes. Eggs cook pretty quick. They puff up a little bit, but then they deflate. They completely, and then they weird because the bottoms end up don't underneath, even though they're it's
Yeah.
weird.
And they last in your fridge for
Whole week.
a week.
Yeah. Eggs have really long shelf life. Unlike meat things, it's interesting. I don't know if you guys realize, but a lot of times eggs are recycled through grocery stores.
oh, good to know.
They're there, and then they'll get sent off, and if they're within a certain date, they'll just clean and wash them and send them back. They have a really long shelf life.
Thanks, Heidi, for telling
Now none of us want egg cups.
Eggs don't actually have to be refrigerated either.
Yeah, I heard that.
So that's what I'm saying. They have really
like
good
a
options.
week or it's like expiration date is like 6 months or something.
Yeah, no, really, that's because
Yeah.
it's not an item that actually expires, and they don't have to be refrigerated.
When you cook the zucchini that you've done the spiral thing, how you said you saute anything for 2 years. What do you saute it with?
I just put coconut oil or grapeseed oil. One of the things, and this is just, I don't know if it's a me thing, but it's just because I've read a lot on the oils when you cook with them. Extra virgin olive oil doesn't have a really high burning point, so it's not always the best to roast vegetables with. Rapeseed oil, coconut oil, almond, avocado oil, things, and it even has a lot of the containers that you see on the store. They'll show you they can do medium to high heat, and those are the ones that you want to use for roasting, because extra virgin olive oil turns at a really high heat, and it can, if it's too high, it can become a little bit on the toxic side. It turns your vegetables, and it will react with certain vegetables.
So if you're fixing the zucchini, the spiral zucchini, like if you love again pasta with like margarine and stuff, you can use that
Yes.
instead of it, right? Yes. Okay. And then you can throw it other vegetables if you like other vegetables.
Exactly.
Broccoli.
Anything, chicken parmesan, anything like that? It's kind of a fun food. Bake your chicken. Use almond flour. Use, I swapped out anything you would normally bread with a white flour. You can use almond flour with, and now it's all protein. There's no carb, there's no starch with it. But you get the same effect with it. So you can bake it.
It's crunchy.
It comes, you can create a nice little crust on it, and you dredge it through your egg, and then through the almond flour, and you bake it, and then now you can throw it on zucchini with marinara, and so now you have just replaced everything on your plate is now all vegetable, all protein.
You can also do like chicken tenders like that too. Like you
So
can
chicken tenders,
yeah.
fish sticks,
fish sticks, chicken tenders, and you just
unsweetened coconut is a really fun one to throw in with almond flour to get that crispy, crunchy. Roasted plantains, you can crush up nuts. I put nuts on everything. If I want food with crunch, I crush up nuts. Pecans are a good one with tuna or a fish. It works pretty well. If you like things on the sweeter side, use a little bit of honey on it, and everything really sticks to the meat.
that's good for salmon. Like a lot of people like their salmon a little bit sweeter.
But I think I would have pecan crusted body on almost a weekly basis. It's kind of one of my favorites.
Have you used coconut flour?
I make with it. I don't always use it for cooking that way because it's a little bit softer. You don't get the same fried crunch with it that you would with almond flour. At least that's from my experience with it. But I have my cupboards and everything is all filled with all these little bags of coconut flour. I also bake with coconut crystals instead of sugar. But that's just when my kid wants something sweet out.
The one day a month.
Tortilla chips are really easy. You take Ezekiel tortillas and you rub coconut oil on them. Again, moisturizing your hands at the same time. It's a dual purpose when you're doing it. I rub coconut oil on it. I sprinkle a little bit of salt or any other flavoring that I want on the chip. So if I want them spicy or whatever, I'll just do that. And then it's both sides. And then I put it under a broiler for 45 seconds on each side. It's fast. And those things will turn black very quickly. So timer. It's all about the timer. And just stand there and flip it, pull it out. They're really hot. But then they're perfectly fresh. But yeah, it's a really great chip alternative. And they keep. So you can make a bunch of them. And stick them in a Ziploc bag and just have
Like hummus or salsa.
And Ezekiel or Sprouts?
Sprouts, they're in the frozen section. Trader Joe's, they're in the bread section. And keep them in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Any Ezekiel product, keep it in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
You'll be sad.
Because it's a
You
sprouted
pay $5
protein.
for a loaf of bread. It's
Yeah.
gone to real massive.
Yeah, yeah.
I think we've all had that happen once. You're like,
Yeah.
ah,
Mm-hmm.
never again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I use it for breakfast too. I guess if days I don't have oatmeal or the toast, the Ezekiel toast, I usually will make like a wrap with chicken and broccoli and salsa, and I just put a little breakfast burrito. Easy for that.
When you make your sweet potato chips, how did you do those again?
Oh.
I know that was on
My game day food. Sweet potato fries. Again, it's just I use grapeseed oil. You can use any kind of oil, and then you rub them down, sprinkle them, and then bake them for about 20 minutes at 400, and then flip them, and then another 20 minutes. They're a little bit longer. They take a while to get that nice crunch, but I just slice them up real thin. Sometimes we make shapes out of them. If you have kids, you have cookie cutters, make shapes with them.
What about a husband?
These
Do
are
you
all
like
things
shapes?
that I
No, I was kidding.
These are all
She's
things that
amazing, right?
My kid likes to cook, and he likes to be involved in the kitchen. So,
Yeah.
I'm like, here, how about potato shapes?
And by the way, if you guys aren't on our because you meant our private group, right? Yeah. So if you guys aren't currently on our private group, because you have to be friends with either me or John for us to add you on there. So if you're not on that page, please let me know. We've posted.
Everybody is.
Everyone in here's on it. Okay, cool. The page. The Fit Body Insider.
Sometimes it's funny.
Yeah,
I mean, I come up with stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And
We need to add you. Can you add her right now?
I'm used to sharing and posting and things like that. I'm always like, I can overwhelm everyone. with
Yeah.
things that
But
I'm
it's good
creating
because
and
you
blah,
see
blah,
other
blah.
people's
I try
stuff.
to keep it to like once a week.
Yeah.
I'll post something this week.
No, it's good because like that page, you get a bunch of kind of recipes, and then also just FYI, because I know for example, Lori texted me this morning or last night. Last night she texted me and she was like, "Oh, I want to make the lasagna thing. Where is it?" And so I sent her the link. But if you are ever hear about it, there's a little search engine up at the top, and so you can search Kara and see the posts I've put. You can search Heidi's posts, and it'll come up and show all her recipes. Yeah, on the Fit Body Insider page. So there's a search thing on the top, so you can search any topics. And then there's also, on another note, there's a files section on the top on one of the things under files, and there's travel workouts. There's a ton of recipes, some of the ones Heidi mentioned are on there, just recipes, and you guys can either just look at them, or you can print it off and keep them at home. Whatever. There's grocery lists. There's all kinds of stuff up there.
And if there's ever anything, I love a challenge. So if there's something that you absolutely love, and you want to figure out how to make it an alternate thing, just post a message there or send me something, and I will figure it out. I love it. It's fun.
She
Like,
rocks.
how do we do this? I'm like, I don't know. Let me figure it out.
And she does.
And I do, and try to make it still taste good. That's my thing. Food has to taste good.
Healthy chili or something that maybe has some spice to it.
Actually, I just made chili last night. Yeah, and to be honest, it's super easy. That's how it's chili. Yeah, we just made it last night, and again, my kid's like, I want chili. And I just grind up. It's just a whole pepper, a whole onion. I use celery and carrots in it too for some extra
Crunch.
vegetables. Because with chili, it cooks down to mush in the end, but at least you're getting some extra vegetables in there. And then I use at Sprouts again, my grocery store of choice. But when I'm shopping what they're selling, so in their meat section, not the stuff that's packaged, but the bulk, I think the sausage is only $2.99 a pound, but they have a sweet Italian chicken sausage, which is actually kind of a good thing. Do you have that recipe posted already? I'll post it. I just made it last night, and so you just put in your chicken sausage, and then you can use beef or turkey. It's whatever you want, and you cook it up, and then a can of diced tomatoes.
Maybe I should make What's Cooking Wednesday with your recipes.
Right. Dump a bunch of spices in there. And
The ones
cook it
that you
up.
posted,
And it's no bean.
a lot of those from Diane.
That's what
Mhm. Yeah.
I ordered that for my birthday. That was that one.
Yeah,
Good.
I just
That's
made it,
awesome.
so I'll post it tomorrow. Probably was about 45 minutes because it's like one of those things that tastes way better the next day. So we had some last night, but today's going to be the day that we really want it. It always takes, you just let it sit.
And you like your stuff spicy like me, right, Carla? A little bit spicy? Yeah, me too. I always just like dump a ton of chili powder. John's like, I'm like, yeah, just dump it.
No, I do. My spice pepper's it's very large.
Yeah.
It kind of has everything in it.
But see, and chili is one of those things, though, you make it really big and then you just freeze smaller portions because it's so much easier.
Yeah.
So,
It makes it, it's so nice.
10 pounds of it.
Yeah, the chicken sausage sounds good.
5 pounds of meat last night.
Wow. You gotta be, we're all going to Heidi's house for dinner tonight.
I made up 2 pies, so those I have one in the freezer, one in the, because it's like if you're gonna do something, it takes the same amount of time to do one as it takes to do 3 or 4. So freezing is my friend. Seriously, Tupperware and not Tupperware, plasticware and Ziploc bags are my friend.
Yeah.
It makes life so much easier.
Grab and go.
If you have like black beans, are there certain ones that are?
Black beans are better. Stay away from red kidney beans and white cannella beans. So those are the 2 that you should avoid. But pinto and black, the smaller the bean, a little bit better for you.
Aw, someone listens.
And I will admit, my sister-in-law is a huge paleo person. So for years, I was listening to her all.
Yeah. In your ear.
So it sort of sunk in.
Yeah.
She actually does. She just started doing this. Her name's Patty. So it's Patty's Paleo Pantry. She does food delivery every week.
Oh.
So she took your Patty's Healthy Helpings.
Well, I would like a cut of that, actually.
She's not from Corona, though.
oh.
So,
That's
I told
cool.
her, I said, well, we might be able to get some people here. But she does.
She lives in Corona.
Where does she deliver to? How far would she go?
I don't know if she'll be in Orange County. I'll find out. But she does.
Well, you don't need her to. You need to start yours. Heidi Healthy Helpings. You don't want a fourth business? You don't want a fourth business. That's like when people ask me if I have a day job. I'm like, really? How would I have time for a day job?
I don't even know what they're
Yeah.
My kitchen's already destroyed for most of the week.
Yeah. Does anyone else have any questions like you feel like would help Heidi, or a question that maybe you have for me?
And I'll just keep posting things as I do them. And sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh, they're tired of seeing it, or they're tired of hearing it. I don't know.
No, everyone loves recipes. Because maybe one week they're like, that doesn't sound too good, but then like the next one they're like, oh yeah, that's all up my alley. Yeah. We should have like a board in here where we post our
It's been
recipes.
a weekly item for the last month. Is a flank steak with lard. So it sounds really difficult, but it looks really impressive on the plate, and it's really easy. And it's just a flank steak, and you roll it up, and you cook all the good stuff on the inside. That was really good. I'll post that one too.
Yeah, post it.
Because when you slice it, it looks really pretty.
We should get like a board. What if we got like a board? Like I just thought of this like 5 seconds ago. What if we got like one of those whiteboards and like every week you like, I'm like you could or we whatever. We all collectively get together and we write a recipe on the board and it could be like the recipe of the week and like everyone could try it or whatever.
Well, see, I like to have something I can refer back to. Like
Just take a photo and then there'll be all the other ones you don't put.
But,
She's like, I've got all these recipes that I did.
I'm the same way. And I feel bad because I was so much like, and I told
So
her
cute.
this morning, I go, oh, I should have printed out Diane's recipe for I'm like, no, because for me, everything's on my phone, my iPad.
Yeah.
I have a little cooking stand, so my iPad's always there, and I finally bought me a little stylus because it was not pretty. Like food smudges everywhere, so I have a stylus now that I can watch.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, I use everything's electronic in my kitchen for that stuff. So.
That's awesome.
Does everybody feel like they can get started on this tomorrow?
Yeah. Everyone can make some ground turkey tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Food prep.
Food prep. That's it, right? That's all you gotta do.
oh yeah, that was the one
I'm
really.
staying to you for like 7 more weeks.
I know. So. Anyone have any questions?
Have you turned and really have faith and just turn your life over to Karen and John?
I know. Right?
You will have results, and then just keep them here.
What's your you mentioned about protein pudding? What is that?
It's protein powder, and it can be any protein powder. And usually, if you use anywhere between 1/4 and 1/2 and then you just mix it up to like a pudding consistency, and then I put it in the freezer or the refrigerator, and it kind of gels it a little bit, and it has the consistency of pudding. But most protein powders are a little bit on sometimes they have a sweetness to it, and so it ends up being kind of a fun little dessert. One night I made it, one with a tart in it.
I remember that one.
She's like, you're going way above and
I was
beyond.
like, stop it. What was your question?
So what's wrong with the gluten and what is considered gluten?
Oh, I might turn to Kara on that.
Gluten, basically, most people just have a gluten intolerance. So, like, a good way just to kind of check if you do is it's basically anything like it's in everything. To be honest, nowadays gluten is in so much, and the reason why it's so bad now is because it's gluten. What used to be gluten like 15, 20 years ago was a little bit more natural, whole wheat, things like that. But now it's become so broken down and so processed that it has absolutely like zero nutritional value. But what it does to your digestive tract, it kind of makes it like swollen on the inside. So, you know, if you eat a piece of bread or if you eat pasta or if when you go out to eat and you leave and your stomach feels a little like distended out a little bit, you probably have a gluten intolerance. So basically, just like what Heidi said, sticking to like fruits, vegetables, gluten is in, you know, well, it's in breads and things like that, but for the most part, it's in most of your processed foods and things like that, and it just causes your stomach to kind of swell up. Your body can't really break it down, so it's almost like toxic to your insides. So
You'd be surprised at
what it's
the
in
soups
nowadays,
having a lot of, I mean,
right?
it's in a
And
lot.
it's not to say
Things
like,
that you wouldn't even go, oh, there's no flour in that. You'd be surprised.
yeah, and it causes a lot of people, like, I mean, I've worked with clients who literally have struggled to gain weight. And I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything, but what I tell them to do is we sometimes just do elimination. So I say, okay, well, for 14 days, eliminate dairy, see how you feel. They're like, it just doesn't really, I feel okay. Okay, well, let's take out dairy for 14 days. Holy crap, I've lost 8 pounds. I have so much more energy. They're gluten intolerant, you know? So we just sometimes just do like elimination. I mean, I'm not going to say it's going to like cure all, end all, but I mean, a lot of times you eliminate it, your skin clears up, you have way more energy, you're not so sluggish, you lose weight, your stomach shrinks. Not necessarily that you've lost weight or anything, but you're in a constant state of just like your stomach's just in a constant state of turmoil because you have so much gluten in your body. And then, of course, like I'm just super passionate about it, but of course there's the industry that's, you know, you go to your grocery store aisle and it's like gluten-free cookies, gluten-free potato chips, gluten-free. We think Lay's potato chips now have taken out the gluten and replaced it with another chemical, so they're gluten-free potato chips. So you don't want to go that route. What you do want to do, though, is just go towards, like, just what Heidi was saying, making things more with fruits, with vegetables, with lean protein, using the almond flour. It doesn't have gluten in it, using that versus, like, eating your white breads, anything cooked with white flour, anything like that. It just really just destroys your insides. So
My mother,
that's a really good question.
Really funny. She goes, well, you can eat this. It says it's gluten free. I'm like, okay. This is the whole point.
It's a bag of Lay's chips. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, forget it.
Yeah. And it's in everything. I mean, it's just it's a filler for so much stuff nowadays. And what it used to be back in the day, I mean, now the food that's out there is just, there's just really no nutritional. I mean, you're getting calories. Yes, it's, you know, X amount of calories, but there's no real legitimate nutrition. It's not really doing anything. Yes, it's giving you some energy, which is what calories do, but it's not giving your body really any solid nutrition.
And if you want to really lean down, I mean, for those of you who are on skinny smokes it, no dairy is huge. You want to get that six-pack abs, just cut out dairy altogether. I was very excited for Thanksgiving. I was like, I'm getting it.
Yeah, I know, it's a big deal. But cutting out that stuff, just because most of what that is just highly processed foods with really little to no nutritional value whatsoever. So,
How about soy products?
I'm sorry?
Soy products. Some people say too much soy is not good either.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't.
You know, I just read a study that too much kale gives you cancer. Honestly, I mean, I think really people just take it. I'm serious. People, I think the main thing is finding balance. I mean, obviously, if you're eating a diet that's 90% soy, yes, it's shown to cause cancer. Yes, it's shown to cause ovarian cancer. It's shown to give men, you know, man boobs and things like that. And there are a lot of people who do have soy allergies. But I think, again, what it comes down to is the soy we eat now is so freaking processed. It's been like, here was soy, and yeah, soy may not be so bad for us, but then they take it and they add this and they add that, and then they chemically transform it in their plant or whatever they do in those food companies, and then here you have, and you've got like this meated look-alike thing. It's like crusty, and it's just not good for you, you know? So I think if you have a little bit of soy, it's going to be okay, but you definitely don't want to have like, shouldn't be like anywhere, but shouldn't even be 50% of your diet. Just small increments. And if you're talking soy milk, almond milk is better. Almond milk, coconut milk will be better than, say, soy milk.
And arrowroot that's not a nut, is it? Or the nut?
I don't know. It's a starch.
The starch.
It's a starch. Okay.
But it's not the same as like cornstarch.
Yeah.
It cooks the same, but it's an alternative, and a lot of gluten-free or paleo recipes will call for that as a replacement.
Yeah.
So it's a fun item to play with in the kitchen.
Is there a flour other than almond flour that does good for breading? Because in my family, 2 members have nut allergies. So with all
well
the
then
nut,
I
love
there's
nuts.
I guess then the coconut flour, they have there's a number of them. Well, I guess hazelnut would work. But yeah, probably coconut flour would be your next alternative. And they have a tapioca flour too.
Yeah.
It's a little pricey, but
You can use it in small increments.
It is a nice item too.
Yeah.
I use that.
Everything is paleo now. What is that?
Paleo?
Or paleo? Why is that such a big thing now?
The people across the street. It's a lifestyle, and it gets weird if some people take it to the extreme. Some people just do it as it's really eating real food. Basically, is what it is. But you get people who are a little bit crazy.
Basically,
that's what I've heard.
It's basically no potatoes, no.
It's everything. The way they look at it is it's like a caveman type style, where it's everything that you can pick and grow.
Like hunter-gatherer, what you would eat, pretty much.
Everything you gather yourself. So if it's not small, like as far as fruit, big fruit, I mean, we can talk fruit. Like fruit is like no milk, like nothing big. It's like bananas are okay, small berries, apple, oranges, really small, limited. But for them, it's a lot of a sugar balance. And a lot of times, what it started with is the people who actually do like the competing of the games and things like that. And it's just a lean, very lean protein, but it's all protein, vegetable, fruit based.
And it's good, but I think that
There's no balance.
there's just no balance to it in life. For me, I think that, you have to have balance in your life. You have to have some form of energy, and yes, that's great, but quinoa really, they don't encourage you to have quinoa. You can have a little bit of quinoa. It's like you've got to have portion control. Like that's like the biggest thing.
They're starting to change some of their team with some of it, and they're going more towards what they call primal. So you'll probably start seeing that and hearing that. But it's basically it's the balance. It's the quinoa is okay. Having dark chocolate is okay. It's all in portion control. And then they even say like some really good cheeses or like the hard cheeses. If you are going to pick one, go with something I was going to say, for those who used to eat cheese, this is what I learned. Go with something that's really strong because you need very little of it. So then that's kind of a quick little hint to bring that down, like feta, parmesan, like really blue cheese, something stinky because it's so strong. You only need a little bit of it to get the flavor, so you're not like throwing slabs of cheddar on it.
Eating a whole thing of brie is not good.
The things that it will do to your body.
I think it's fine. You have to find a balance. I know that, I think for as long as we've been in the industry, we've seen the sugar-free diet, the fat-free diet, the Atkins diet, we've seen so many diets just come and go. And right now the paleo is super popular, and it's super popular because people are making money off of it. That's really the bottom line. It's like, I'm not trying to sell you I'm just saying, like, you just have to watch your portions, eat real whole foods, and that's really the name of the game, because right now there's already studies coming out that are saying paleo is bad for you. You're not getting certain nutrients, and these people are very lacking in vital nutrients, like athletes. And like there's an article I can show you. But I mean, it's really just it's finding portions, it's finding. Yeah, it's just a fad right now. And in a year, there's going to be someone that's going to come out just like it did with the Atkins and the Zone and the this and the that. And, there's always going to be a fad. And what's going to happen is people are making money off it. People are selling paleo brownies, paleo pancakes, paleo this, paleo that. And it's a big money maker for people right now. Just like the gluten-free is a big money maker for people right now.
Those are from Diana's website.
Yeah.
I mean, the ones that Kara posts, I use that. The realhealthyrecipes.com is the one I use all the time because she's a mom, she's got kids, so a lot of her stuff for me is kid friendly, and so that helps.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to translate food into the home. I mean, I could eat, whatever, what I want to eat all the time, but I do have to kind of keep in the back of my mind that I have two other semi-picky eaters. My son is a bit of a foodie, so he gets a little sweet.
Yeah, that's a great website, realhealthyrecipes.com.
Yeah,
And
it's my go-to when I need something different. And her stuff is pretty easy. She's starting to do videos, so if you guys don't like to read stuff, she's got videos. She's starting to post almost all her stuff.
She's going all video based. She's got like a ton. She just did like 2 huge like video shoots where she like will show you can see the clips on like to do the spiral slicer, how to do this and what to do that. And she even has like a section where she tells you like, on Amazon where you can get the cheapest almond flour, where you can get the cheapest coconut crystals, where you can get, that stuff at a cheaper price. So she's starting to like go more, and it is super family friendly, and she has a ton of different stuff. You can look on the side of the blog and just kind of pick and choose. She has like desserts, appetizers, main courses, kid friendly,
Really
school lunches.
She uses the non-dairy cheese spread in a lot of things. So like one of them is this. Oh, it's so good. It's a chicken rihanna, and so she pounds out the chicken, and you put the chilies, you put that spread, and you roll it up, and then you roll it in like almond flour and you bake it, and it's just this yummy, creamy, cheesy thing. And you're just like, wow, I didn't know this would taste so good.
Yeah,
So yeah, if you're like a chili rihanna fan,
it's really
it's
good.
really good. So,
A
like
good
I said,
recipe. She
she's,
posts daily. I think new recipe. Like
yeah.
I think it's like
Yeah,
a
on
recipe a
Facebook,
day.
She posts at least daily, and then
Mhm.
yeah, she's got a blog that she also manages and does.
Yeah.
There's one cookbook that I also really, really like, and I'll probably repost some of their stuff. Is Make Ahead Paleo, and you can tell that she only uses that term because it is a popular term.
Yeah.
But she has 3 celiac people that she lives with, and so for her, this is a lifestyle that she has to do because no one in her house can have any sort of flour product whatsoever. And so all of her stuff is, and that's where I started learning how to make ahead and prep. And she actually breaks it down where she'll tell you, this is your prep, this is your cooking. Like she will actually say, put this in this bag, in this container.
Yeah,
And then she says, on cooking day, do this, this, and this.
that's awesome.
And she's got sections, so it's make ahead, freezer stuff, slow cooker, travel. So when they travel, you think about it, if you're a person that can't have any flour, you pretty much can't eat out, almost, unless you have to be very, very careful with that.
Yeah, I bet
Because
that's hard for
kitchens
you.
are
Get
covered
it out.
in flour.
Well, he's not
So, what she does is she actually takes this little fryer pan with her when she goes to hotels. And she breaks it down like how to
Wow.
pack your cooler and cook.
Make Ahead
Or
paleo.
like make up little containers and things like that. It's probably one of the best. I use it all the time. It's probably my favorite, other than the website. But I don't. The only other cookbooks I have are signed by the authors. I do that.
By what?
Like signed by the authors, like Bobby Flay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I usually don't use them.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just there.
Yeah.
I have a photo with them. That was fun. That's it.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thank you. Yeah, we have a raffle. I'll let you raffle. And do you want to like share the snacks or whatever?
Yeah, I got snacks, and then somebody can take them.
all of my.
Luxury version.